All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Huffman. I am the founder and CEO of Relations to Business. And today is part two of the IRS policies and updates. As we promised, we um, asked everyone to submit questions and about small businesses or any type of topic that you had a concern about regarding the IRS. And we will come back and have a forum where we can answer those questions. So today is the part two of that session. And we got back again our favorite IRS person, Miss Miss Yvette Davis, tax specialist. She is the senior stakeholder. I keep getting that word, but she's the senior stakeholder. Senior stakeholder liaison for communications and the liaison for fields outreach operations with the IRS. And that's over 30 years of experience.
Yes.
30 years of experience.
Yes.
And how are you doing today, Miss Davis?
I am so good and so happy to be here, Patrice, Miss Andrea. We call you Patrice. So please forgive me. I'm so happy to be here and grateful for this opportunity to share with your viewers all of this information. And I do appreciate the invitation to come back and all the questions. So yes, thank you.
All righty. Well, let's jump right into it. And the first thing I want to say is I want to thank my followers. We had questions. We had some really, really good questions.
Good questions.
And we're going to touch on those top questions that we both felt that was very important. And some of the questions we kind of merged together to get the answer, because some of them was really related to one another. So we're going to address that. We're going to address those questions and get this information. So let's dive right into it, Ms. Davis.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my desktop. Let's see here. Let me share here. Let me know when you can see it.
I can see it.
Awesome. So yeah, so you guys sent in some great questions. So again, thank you so much to Andrea Huffman in Relations to Business. This is always an honor. Yeah, and you're right. It's been over 33 years since I started with the service. So, and I've been doing outreach education for the last 15, 16, 17 years. So even beyond today, I'm going to have some contact information at the very end. So if you have questions beyond today, you can get them obviously to Andrea or you can send them to me. But if you go through Andrea, they'll definitely get to me. So let's go ahead and jump into some things. First, I wanted to address a few questions that were sent in that were not specifically or directly related to the IRS, but I just wanted to give you some direction on those things and where you can find some help and some information on that. Someone asked a great question about registering with the Department of Revenue, right? What that looks like with the local Department of Revenue. So with your South Carolina Department of Revenue, the type of registration you need is going to depend on the type of business you have, right? Some businesses may need a license. Some businesses may not need a license. Some businesses may have to pay sales tax. Right. So the type of licensing and the things that you may need to register with the South Carolina Department of Revenue is going to depend on your business. So go to the South Carolina Department of Revenue's website to get more information about what type of registration you may need, depending upon the type of business you own. Okay. Someone asked for me to explain the payroll protection, the PPP loans, okay? That's the Small Business Administration program. And the SBA is the one who they've been hosting webinars every month, many times a month about the PPP loans because there have been many draws, if you will, that you can actually participate in to apply for these different loans. They've refunded it many, many times. And I understand that they've recently run out of funds, but I want you to know that there are still funds set aside for certain small business owners. So you still have the opportunity to apply for these loans and actually get some of that PPP money if you have not already received that money. We also have some assistance with our local small business development centers like South Carolina State University. They have people there who will actually help you navigate the PPP loan process to help get some answers for you. Okay, so don't give up just because you hear on the general news or the national news that PPP funds are depleted. You may have a small business, a minority business, some that fits into that category for that pot of money that they've set aside specifically for you from the PPP. As far as federal government assistance is concerned, each state, and including the state of South Carolina, they have different types of grants that you can apply for. Again, they may be federal funds, but they are distributed through at a state level. So you're going to, again, need to go back to the state to find out what those funds are, what you may qualify for, so that you can get some assistance with your business. So hopefully that'll help answer a few of those questions and give you some direction. Now, one thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned was that with as far as our taxes are concerned, Monday is fast approaching, folks. May 17th is the deadline to file your tax return. And I'm talking about your 1040 tax return. So please, 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 ma'am, please, sir, know that if you don't file your tax return by May 17th, you have an additional 6 months if you file a form 4868 to extend that time to file, okay? Extending the time to file, remember, is not an extension of time to pay. If you have a balance due on your 1040 return, that balance is due on May 17th. If you owe and you don't pay on May 17th, then you will incur a penalty and you will incur interest on that tax return. Okay, so the extension to May 17th to file is an extension to file, not an extension to pay. All right. So I wanted to say that, and you see on the slide that there is a link to our website to get some more information about that. So there's always some confusion about the extended day to file, that people always associate that with, well, I got some more time to pay too. Okay, May 17th is the deadline to file and pay whatever's due on that tax return. Beyond that, if you get an extension to file, you will still incur a failure to pay penalty and interest on whatever's due. Hopefully that's clear. Now, we had some really great questions about record keeping. Someone asked, what type of records should you keep? What type of documents should you take to your tax preparer? And someone even asked about online business tax implications. What does it look like for your online business? So they're basically, those questions we've grouped together because they're basically one and the same. The records that you should keep are the records you want to take to your tax preparer. The records that you should keep for any type of business, whether it's online or a physical presence, it's not, there's no difference between an online business, excuse me, and a physical business. All right, so whether you cut hair, as you see on our screen, or you cut lawns, record keeping is vital. Record keeping is a huge part of running a successful business. So I'm glad you're concerned about what that looks like. And a good record keeping system looks basically like, it is going to depend, it's going to differ from one business to the next, okay? Some people keep their records in paper form, like I've got a cabinet filled with old tax returns, okay? And the documentation that goes along with those tax returns to prove I'm entitled to those deductions that I claimed on my tax return. Okay, so as far as your business is concerned, your record keeping system, could look like as simple as a really good checkbook in the registry for that checkbook. Some people get fancy and they actually use these one of these tax software, um, record keeping system. Patrice, what is it? I can't even remember the name of
Um,
that
I
they
know
use.
what you're talking about. I
But you,
can't think
yeah,
of
it's like
it.
you
Turbo,
can
is it
Tur-
Turbo?
TurboTax is a filing tool, but there
Um,
is a and I
Quick,
can't remember.
Quicken,
There you
QuickBooks.
go.
Yeah, QuickBooks.
QuickBooks, things like that. Some people use that type of system. Some people use Excel spreadsheets. The bottom line with record keeping, folks, is to keep things in order, to keep things in a succinct order, so that you will be able to prove to the IRS that whatever you filed, you've got the documentation to show that you are entitled to that deduction. You want to prove your income. You want to prove whatever you are deducting. You want to be able to have good record keeping in your back pocket, because that's also going to help you know whether or not your business is prospering or failing, and what within that business is actually working or not working. So if you don't have a good handle on what you're in your record keeping, if you don't know the kind of money you've got coming in, the kind of expenses you've got going out, then you're not going to know what's keeping your business afloat or what's sinking your business. Record keeping is vital. So you need to keep track of your expenses. You need to help have the record keeping to monitor the progress of your business, and to also complete your tax returns accurately. Okay. And the IRS always reminds folks that you need to keep your records when it comes to individuals for at least 3 years. And when it comes to any type of employment tax returns, you keep those records for at least 4 years. Okay. And there are some caveats that may change how long you keep those records, but go to our website at irs.gov. We've got an online video that you can actually view all about record keeping. And we've also got a tax tip number 305, and you can look at that to give you some additional tax tips. Publication 583 is a great publication, and it talks to you all about record keeping in your business. Okay, so keeping in the same realm with business expenses, there were some great questions again about what records to keep, and then about business expenses and deductions. What can you deduct? What can you deduct? So there were several questions about those different types of deductions. For example, can a business deduct the expense for a gift to an employee? And the answer is yes. That is a business expense that can be deducted. Okay, when it comes to gifts, we're not going to get into all of that, but there are some thresholds that you need to be aware of as far as dollar amounts. And I'll give you one quick example. For example, if you were to give your employees a turkey during Thanksgiving, then that is probably under $25 or so. That is a business expense that you can deduct. Okay, so again, when it comes to gifts, there is a whole nother realm. Publication 4463 will talk to you more about business gifts. Okay, but generally for my small businesses, under $25 per person per year, make that deduction as a business expense. Okay, this particular screen talks about a new deduction that came about because of the Relief Act from last year. And if you know anything about business deductions and expenses and entertainment and those types of deductions, in the past, you were only allowed to take a 50% deduction for food or beverage when it comes to any type of business relationship or business expense. But through December 2022, the IRS has allowed, through the Relief Act, for businesses to deduct 100% of food and beverage costs relative to a business transaction. Okay, so if you spend $50 on ABC Foods with your client, then you can deduct dollar for dollar, $50. Okay. Again, we mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this time, but before we talked about having a tax preparer. Your tax preparer is going to save you a lot of money because they're going to know all about this. They're going to know all about these deductions that you're allowed to take in your business. Every business is different with the type of business expenses you are allowed to deduct. Okay, your tax professional should know your business. They should know what you can deduct. So get a good tax preparer. All right, so I talked about gifts. I talked about the food and beverage. Let's see what else. There was another question about, okay, all about business deductions. Publication 535 gives you a litany of business expenses that you are allowed to deduct. Again, depending on your business, excuse me, depending on your business, okay? Publication 535, publication 463. Those are two great publications you need to have when it comes to business deductions and gift taxes, okay? So look at those as a resource. Now, when it comes to the PPP, as I mentioned, I don't talk about the PPP itself, the loan itself, but you should know that you are entitled to use those funds in your business, and you are entitled to get a deduction for the expenses you pay with the PPP funds. Okay, when this was first introduced, when the PPP was first introduced, there was some ambiguity around the deductions that you could actually take when using those PPP funds, right? Now the IRS has cleared all that up, and they specifically said you can deduct, you can use the PPP funds that you receive, and you can use those funds to pay payroll, like employment tax expenses for your employees. You can use those funds to pay for the upfit of your business. If you've got a business and you've got people coming in and out, for the PPE, those plastic screen protectors that you see everybody using, the gloves, the sanitation, the sanitizer, hand sanitizer, those types of things, the face masks, those are expenses that you can use as a deduction with your business. Okay, so you get the money from the PPP, those expenses that you incur, the expenses that you pay with that PPP, those are deductible expenses. In the beginning, that's not how it was. Okay, so now, again, I want you to go back to your tax preparer. If you filed your taxes last year and you did not get the benefit of having these expenses deducted because you used that money from the PPP to pay it, and it wasn't clear that you could make those deductions, as of 2021, now you can go back, amend those returns, and actually get the benefit of having those deductions. Okay, talk to your tax preparer to find out how you do that, because there's money on the table that you can have back in your pockets. Okay, so please do that. For 2021, first and second quarters, the Paycheck Protection Program loans, if you didn't deduct those original expenses, again, you can now claim those expenses as deductions on your tax returns for the first and second quarter of 2021 as well. When I talk about expenses, let's just say examples again are payroll expenses, mortgage interest, mortgages, rents that you had to pay, utilities, just different expenses like that. Those things can now be a deduction for your business. Okay, talk to your tax preparer about how that looks for you. All right, don't want to run out of time, Patrice, so keep me on track here.
You're good.
Okay, so someone asked a great question: what's the difference between a 1099 and a W-9? Okay, I think that was the question. So in a nutshell, they're going to be used by two different people. One is for the individual, one is for the employee, for example. With a 1099, you as a business owner will be issuing a 1099 to each person to whom you may have paid during the year, okay? The threshold is at least $600 for anything that you've paid for, I don't know, like rents or some type of products or those types of things, whatever you may have with your business. If you paid someone in the act of a business $600 or more, you as the business owner will issue them a 1099, whether it's the 1099 miscellaneous or the 1099 non-employee compensation if you're paying someone for doing a job for you, okay? As far as the W-9 is concerned, the W-9 is something that a potential employee, for example, would fill out to confirm the correctness of their tax identification number or their social security number or even their ITIN, just depends on the situation. So if income was paid to you, if there's a real estate transaction, if mortgage interest is paid to you, they're going to need your correct identification number to know where to report that income or that money to. So that's when you would provide a W-9. And that's, again, to show the correctness or the accuracy of your actual identification number. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. All right. So that's the 1099. That's for an employer. You will issue that. A W-9, that's something you're going to request from someone that you are going to pay or give funds to. Okay. You're going to find out from them what their identification number is, like their social security number. Okay. All right. So I wanted to put out some reminders for folks because, again, we are always hit with the inevitable question about, I got this phone call from the IRS. And they said I owe taxes, but I don't think I do. I'm not sure if it's real or not, right? Well, the IRS, folks, is not going to reach out to you by telephone and say, give me your social security number, give me your financial, your bank account information. They're not going to request that type of information for you. Make a payment using some type of, check, payment card, okay? Like one of those Visa cards. They're not going to call you and ask you for that. They're not going to email you to ask you for that. They're not going to send you any type of link via email, say, click here to update your information. This is not the IRS. If it's from the IRS, you're going to get up to 4 certified letters letting you know you've got a balance due. Okay, they're not going to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, can you pay me with a card from Lane Bryant? No, they're not going to do that, right? So please, please, please be vigilant in your personal life and in your business life, because a lot of the business owners, especially our small businesses, are being targeted by these criminals, and they are reaching out to our small businesses to take away their employee identification numbers, and they're trying to get their employees' information, social security numbers from them. You as a small business owner, you have a lot of valuable information, including your clients' information, your customers' information. So they're trying to get that information so that they can file fake, fraudulent tax returns and get these tax credits and get these refunds. Okay, so be aware of that for yourself, for your business, for your customers, and your employees. Okay, I wanted to mention this one, Patrice, because a lot of folks have received unemployment compensation over the last year, and they may have already filed their tax returns, and they don't realize that there is a new tax law out there that's actually given them a reprieve on about $10,200 of that unemployment compensation. So if you in 2020 receive unemployment compensation of up to $10,200, the American Rescue Plan has a provision in it that will allow you to exclude up to $10,200 of that unemployment compensation from your adjusted gross income. If you make under $150,000 for 2020, you are entitled to exclude up to $10,200 of unemployment compensation from your adjusted gross income, which means your taxable income is going to go down, which means you may, if you were a little bit over the threshold to claim like an earned income tax credit, if you reduced it by $10,200, that may put you in the realm of where you can actually qualify for that EITC and get some more money. Okay, so again, with unemployment compensation, if you earned any last year up to $10,200 and your adjusted gross income is under $150,000, there is an exclusion of up to $10,200 per person. If you're married couple, that's $10,200 for the husband, $10,200 for the wife. So that's a potential reduction in your adjusted gross income, your taxable income of $20,400, which puts money back in your pockets. If you've already filed this tax return, you don't have to file an amended return. Starting this month, the IRS will make amendments and very positive, or it may be a check. Okay, so that you need to know. So you don't have to do anything if you don't want to make the amendment yourself, the IRS is going to automatically make those amendments and automatically start sending out refunds as applicable. Okay, the last thing I wanted to share is that we have a lot of different small business events and workshops and seminars coming up this year. They're going to be posted at various times during the year. Patrice Andrell is going to post this. So this is linked to our website. So you can, as you're viewing this, you can click on this link and it'll take you to our small business events page. All right, this is my contact information and irs.gov/coronavirus for a whole bunch of information on COVID-19 tax law updates and changes. For my small business owners out there, I just want you to know that, again, as a tax owner, as a small business owner, you really, really need to talk to your tax preparer so that you can get the benefit of these tax credits that's out there for you. That's all I have.
All right, that was a lot.
I think we answered all the questions.
That was a lot. That was a lot, and we're going to keep the series going. We did receive a lot of questions, and we kind of merged some of the questions together because some of them was the same, and we tried to pick out the best questions for this time frame as far as people trying to meet the deadline for filing their taxes.
Exactly.
So this is a continuous series that Relations to Business is going to have with you with our partnership. And so we're going to still be in contact with each other and still cover a lot of things, because that record keeping, we still going to do something just on record keeping. Just on record keeping for small business and personal. So we definitely need to do that, because we still need to do that. And some people on the personal side need to know what they need to do as far as going to their tax preparer at the end of the year. Some good things they might be missing out on. So thank you so much, Ms. Davis. Again, thank you so much. Do you have any closing remarks?
I just want to say once again, thanks to Relations to Business. Thanks for your partnership. I appreciate you. Folks, go to our website, irs.gov, to find any information, all questions that you may have. Reach out to me, reach out to Andrell in Relations to Business, and we'll do our best to help you be successful in your business. Thank you.
And thank you everyone for watching, and thanks so much for my followers for submitting questions. I really appreciate it. I don't have like 1 million followers, but I had almost 1 million questions. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And let me know what my mission is, and that is to help people and to give people information that can help themselves. So thank you so much to my followers, and thank you, Ms. Davis. Like I say, we will continue this series. And for everyone, have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.